What's up guys, welcome back to JodabeniTV. Today's another amazing day to get after. We're going to be better today than we were yesterday. And for today's video, we're going to be talking about why you should be focusing on yourself and not other people.
Oh babe, you might just make me go crazy. Thinking about you like all day. I'ma need you like always. How'd I get messed up like this? How'd I get stressed out like this? Baby come back, that's my wish. I could put ice on you.
So I had a friend who had contacted me and me and him were just talking, catching up. And he was telling me how, he plays on a specific team and things just weren't going his way. And, it was frustrating. It's tough to think about, especially whenever you have to share a game and you try to play matches and win against other teams. And you may be performing well, but your team isn't, and you guys could not be getting the best results, but sometimes it could eat you up because you think it's your fault. So when he was telling me all of this, as for me, somebody who started soccer late, who had to climb the ladder, there was so many places I always had to play on the worst possible teams climbing up, and playing on these teams gets you destroyed a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, but one thing I always kept in mind that my old coach told me, he said, no matter how good other players are, other teams, as long as you're putting 100%, no matter the result, you shouldn't care if you guys win or lose because you gave it your all. Life isn't fair, honestly, Life isn't fair for anybody. Since it's not fair for everybody, it kind of makes it fair for everybody. You see what I did there? So no matter what situations we are, it's a key factor to stay focused on ourselves. I know a lot of guys are on different teams. They're in different places around the world. There's people who want to play professionally, who want to play college, who are in places you wouldn't imagine. And sometimes you feel like you're just stuck in this hole that you can't move forward in. And if you're stuck in something like this, what I would highly recommend is think about what is in your control. What do you control? Maybe you don't control what the coach may say. Maybe you can't control if that coach is going to accept you. But maybe, just maybe, you can control how you perform, how well you play, and how hard you go in. Whenever you're in team environments, you can't just blame yourself for everything that the team does as a group. But one thing that we can control is that we can make sure that we put our 100% best effort in whatever we may be doing. Like, it doesn't even have to be in the terms of sports, even in the real life. If you're competing in certain things, maybe there's other people who are going to be voting, who are going to be deciding, or other variables that you cannot control. But at the end of the day, if you can control your variables to the very best as possible, you can be mad if things don't go your way. And that's one thing I'm sharing with you guys today, because as I was talking to him, it really reminded me, even in myself, in my journey to signing this professional contract, there's so many things that you can think about. You can think about, man, as right now, I don't have any signed contract with an agent. I could be stressing out, thinking, oh, maybe it's gonna slow things down. I don't know any coaches who are legitimately looking for somebody in my position. That could stress me out. I don't want to think about all these negative variables that I can't control. I can't walk up to a professional coach and say, sir, you're gonna hire JodabeniTV today. I can't do that. It's just unrealistic. They're probably gonna look at me like some bum who thinks they can boss them around. But what I can definitely do is I can make sure I'm training as much as possible. I can make sure I'm taking my vitamins. I can make sure I'm stretching. I can make sure I'm hitting the gym. I can make sure I'm playing other matches, getting experience. I can make sure I'm emailing coaches. All of these things I'm stating are just things that are in my control, in my power. So if things don't go my way, I know I put 100%. But if I'm not doing 100% of what I can do in my power and things don't go my way, of course, then, I have no right to be upset or frustrated because it was my own will to not give it my all. So what are some ways, you can control those things that are in your power? Number one is anytime you're trying to do something to reach a specific goal, put 100% effort. If you guys have to go to training, make sure you put 100%. I know some days you may be tired or you don't want to train, but you putting 100% that day, it's gonna snowball effect to the day you need it. If you're training alone when nobody's watching, make sure you're putting 100%. Don't be skipping reps just because nobody's there to keep you accountable, but make sure you're putting 100%. If you're gonna be doing cone drill, don't just lollygag through it, but actually try to get better. Number 2, what can you do in your power that can help other players on your team or other people in your group or assignment? If you know somebody in your team continuously does the same mistakes over and over again, and you don't want to tell them because maybe if you tell them, they might be performing better than you and take your spot, you're hurting yourself and your teammates. Because by you helping somebody on your team, that helps your overall training sessions and that helps the overall team aspect of winning games. But if you don't help your teammates, you have no one to blame when they keep making those same mistakes in game matches. And the third thing is believing in yourself. A big part of, whenever you're focusing on other people, you tend to get the mindset of, man, how come that person is doing this, and I'm over here like this? You start bringing this negative mindset upon yourself. And you start, losing the belief in yourself that you can do certain things because you're so focused on what others are doing, how well other teams are performing, that you forget to look at yourself and trust the Most High, which is number 4. Whenever you trust in God, you have to understand that whenever you're putting 100% and things still don't go your way, at that point, for me, I'm satisfied. Things didn't go my way. I put 100% effort into this game training week, and the results didn't come out the way I wanted it. Oh well, God's will always be done. If I put 110% and still we couldn't win, no stress. You gave it your all. There was literally nothing you could do that could change that aspect, especially whenever you're working with a bunch of people and there's other variables that you cannot control, but you can control yourself. So pretty much the summary of all of this is pretty simple. To just remember to give it your all, your 100% whenever you're preparing and heading into these matches and when you're playing these matches. You give 100% effort. And after you give 100% effort, you just trust in the Most High that His will be done. Because if it's His will for you guys to lose so you can become humbled and learn and grow even further, you're going to lose. No matter how much you try, you're gonna lose. If that's God's plan for your team to lose so that you guys can be humbled, for you individually to become a greater person in the future, it's going to happen. And you can't be eating yourself up if that's the case. Because at the end of the day, all different things may happen. You may lose all your games in a season and a team will still offer you the best contract that you've ever gotten following after. But you don't know that. But you just have to understand that whenever you're giving you 100%, other people see that. Other people in the bleachers, other people, scouts, agents, whenever they're watching, they're watching like, why isn't nobody giving Jodabeni the ball? Every time he gets it, he does this, that. I wonder what the coach is doing. So you just have to remember, focus on yourself in these cases. That way, you're not frustrated whenever you're bombarding your mind with all these other variables that you cannot control. The better you control your variables, the better the chances of your outer variables. Just because you gave 100%, it may motivate everybody else on your team. Maybe you giving 100% will just make you stand out even more on a team where people don't try. So if you're struggling somewhere, if you're stuck somewhere, if you're stuck, just focus on everything that's in your power. If you don't know how to do something, what's in your power? If you don't know how to contact agents, you have Google. You literally have the internet in your fingertips, in your phone. You have almost everybody has a cell phone that you can have access to the internet. Google questions. Sometimes you don't even need to sit one-on-one with somebody else. Maybe you can just pull up Google and you can find things. Use everything that's in your power, because whenever the time passes, whenever you're looking back and you have regrets, you're gonna think to yourself, why didn't I just do this? I had all the opportunities to do it. So focus on what's in your power. Don't worry about other people. because focusing on other people, sometimes, you know, they just, when you start to compare, everybody's path is different. Don't compare your path with somebody else's path that God has aligned for them. Focus on what you can do and your outlook, and God's gonna bless you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If this video blessed you, share with somebody else who may feel like they're stuck. I made this video to help those, you know, who can push even further than before. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this video, and subscribe if you're new. All right, JodabeniTV is out.
Oh, babe, you might just make me go crazy. Thinking about you like all day. I'ma need you like always.